not the chair reviews. Welcome to Film Reviews with me, the chair. Oh, a bit empty with that opening there. Great, thanks. There's vodka in it now, buddy. There's not vodka in it now. There's not vodka in it now. Medical status update. I've consulted Bones McCoy, and he said, drink, yes, don't bury yourself in the park. Yeah, liver, everything's good. But the liver, whilst not in the disaster zone, was in the motions of buying tickets to the disaster zone. So we're going to stay a bit non-boozy for a while, certainly for these. That's not of interest to you. This is a movie blog, not a liver blog. That's an idea though. Why don't I just start doing a liver blog? But it's not, it's a movie blog. And I've got some movies for you. Just a shorty this week, because there aren't many or any releases in the world. There aren't many cinema releases this week. Certainly not on my cinema. On the world of cine, there's not one new release. They're just chocker with blockbusters. They're blocker. Let's not go down that road. But yeah, there's nothing out. And I nearly went to see London Road, which is a musical about prostitute murders. I didn't go to see it. Why is that? Well, I didn't go and pay to see it anyway. So not many releases. Why don't you give it a fucking rest then? Because I can't give it a rest. I love doing this for you guys. I love doing it for me, really, don't I? But so I'm just going to carry on. And I'm going to start. So I've just got a few rentals that I saw. And a classic. So, Las Vegas. Las Vegas I watched last Saturday. Las Vegas, gave you my heart. And it's directed by John Turteltaub, which is a good name, who directed the National Treasure, kind of, not monstrosities, but silliness. The silliness that is the National Treasure films. He directed those, and now he's directed this Las Vegas, which stars Michael Douglas, Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Kline. Whoa! As four old codgers who were very good friends when they were young. They haven't seen each other for a while. Now they're old codgers. And what happens is Michael Douglas is getting married to a young girl. And he says, let's go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. And they do. Morgan... Yeah. Well... The thing is that there's some history between Michael Douglas and Robert De Niro. A thing over a young girl. You see a little opening, few scenes of when they were young. And there was a girl that they both liked. And, you know, they've got a bit of a history about it. Robert De Niro is a grouchy old git. Which, you know, that's a role he's pretty good at playing. Michael Douglas is the sort of brash, moneyed up one. He looks a bit strange. With a tiny little brown hazelnut. De Niro keeps calling him walnut, I think. But he does look a little bit like a walnut with a shock of white hair. Morgan Freeman's just... his body's a bit knackered. But he's up for a laugh. And Kevin Kline is married, and his wife has said, look, you got no zest. A bit like City Slickers. She says, come back with a smile. But she gives him a Johnny to come back with a smile, having used a free pass. So that's what he's there for. They're all there for different reasons. De Niro doesn't really want to be there. He's a bit grumpy. So, is it any good? Yes, it is quite good. The trailer for this looks really, really bad. I wasn't particularly looking forward to it. Oh, I should say, Mary Steenburgen plays a love interest for a couple of the characters. You know, are there going to be problems again? Yeah, she's a kind of lounge singer. Yeah. Back to is it any good? And yes, it is. Yeah, and like I said, I wasn't thinking I was going to enjoy it, but it was late Saturday night, and I really did start to enjoy it. And the thing is, it's not got the sharpest writing. Okay, it has a lot of quite funny jokes, quite a few little spins. And what it also has, oh yeah, and it has a lot of like crap scenes, like big party scenes. They're at what's it called? A bikini competition, which feels a bit crass. It feels like that's for 21-year-olds. You know, if you're going to chase the grey pound, then have some exotic marigold hotel class. Maybe you could have just gone down that road. It's not like 20-year-olds are going to be going, yes, go and see Las Vegas. So, hold true to it, hold true. Where it doesn't is where it falls down. But, where it falls up, again, where it picks itself right back up and carries on, is, what a cast, what a bloody cast. Michael Douglas, just always a superstar. Robert De Niro, I mean, yeah, Robert De Niro. Morgan Freeman, again, and Kevin Kline, you know, Kevin just doing some great comic stuff, a little bit of serious stuff, but done with the class that these people have, so that it doesn't become schmaltzy or shitty. And it's a rollicking, it's a bit of a good time, you know, not a rollicking good time, but it's a bit of a good time. Morgan Freeman I really loved in this, he made me laugh out loud a lot, he's just great. Kevin Kline, ditto. And the stuff between the warring Douglas and De Niro is like, it's pretty fair. It's nice. These people have class. It is easy. You can make a bad film with these people, but he hasn't. Turtle Taub hasn't made a bad film with these people. It is a nice, relaxing throne for Las Vegas. I nearly went high chair, but I thought, do you know what? These people elevate. These people elevate the material. And they did, and I liked it. So, that's it. Las Vegas. Certainly worth 90 minutes of your time. Right, now I'm going to go on to something, controversial. What's he going to say? I am going to talk about Lone Survivor, which is a film. I might dip into spoiler territory, by the way, during Lone Survivor review. But I think... a bit of underwater there. I think they've already kind of spoiled it a little bit with that title. But anyway, let's carry on. It stars Mark Wahlberg and it stars Emil Hirsch and Ben Foster and Taylor Kitsch. There's 4 Navy SEALs who get dropped into Afghanistan just outside a village, a Taliban, well, not a Taliban village, a village. And they have to get a Taliban guy. That's it. Dropped in, bang, sitting here. Boom. Things don't go exactly as planned. This is based on a true story. Now, it's directed by Peter Berg. Peter Berg, who did Battleship. Woo! Not so great. I didn't make it through the first 20 minutes, I don't think. But he also did The Kingdom, which I think I've done on here, and I quite like. And he does have a real good feel for the military. Excuse me. He has a real good feel for military stuff. So this film, as it's starting off, the realism is bloody good. It's very, for want of a better word, real. I apologise for those 2 ducks. It's interesting. I was talking about Michael Mann last week in Thief. He's another person who's very good at very kind of male characters and very good at precision, weapons, break-ins, boom, that sort of thing. Peter Berg is following in the same vein. He's got more of a lightness of touch than Michael Mann. I think he deals with the characters a little bit, with a bit more mirth in this. But yeah, the hardware is just, you can feel the hardware around you. You know, it all works. Everything looks immaculate. Yeah, here's my slight spoiler, because this film is kind of famous for this, and it came out last year. The centrepiece is a firefight, and talking about technical skill and hardware, Jesus, this is some of the finest action I've ever seen. Really, really good. You're down in the fight with the guys. You're down and dirty with them. Bang, bullets. Ah, fuck. Being hit. Shooting back. It's just a fantastic firefight. It is one-sided, okay? We're going to go on to this in a minute. It is one-sided viewpoint of the firefight. But that's the story, you know. You're with the Marines. You know, this is their story. I think that Taylor Kitsch came off really well. He's had some bad box office with Battleships and what's that other shit thing? Thingy on Mars. That guy on Mars. Johnny Vegas Goes to Mars. Yeah, so he hasn't had a good time. But I think he's actually quite a good actor, and I think he comes off the best of all the people here. Mark Wahlberg a little bit overacting as he does, you know, sometimes a little bit like that. But yeah, it's an interesting film. Where things start to go wrong, there's an interesting moral decision. I thought that was nicely played. I like the sort of opposing views. Again, the technical skill of this is just remarkable. Some of the best I've ever seen. It's the best falling I've ever seen. They kind of have to tumble down a cliff a little bit, and it's remarkable. You really are in the fall. Yeah, so all of that stuff. I mean, I think it's a really fine war movie. Very, very good. What I was going to say is, it's had a lot of problems about jingoism. People saying, oh, it's jingoistic, bloody Americans doing this, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I think jingoism is in the eye of the beholder, because I didn't quite get that feeling here. I thought it was very stripped down. Yes, it's one-sided. I don't think the Americans come off, like, there aren't many hero shots in this, or even any, I don't think. You do get some, like, not all the Afghanis are bad. They don't. The Marines don't go around using racist language like they did in American Sniper. I think American Sniper is a lot more jingoistic than this, and it came in for a similar amount of flack, I guess. But I think it's a lot more present there than it is here. You see a few flags waving. Yeah, but it's it is an American film. I didn't think it was too bad, and I just think that when you if you forget about all that, strip it away, you're left with this terrific military adventure shot in some bloody style, pretty well acted, and just a fine film. Yeah, I would have called it something else to add a little bit more suspense in there, but there's plenty anyway. Very well shot. Lone Survivor is a 2 thrown out. I was close to a 3, a little bit of reflection, put it down to a 2. Very good if you like war films. And who doesn't, eh? Right, and now, that's it. It's nearly it. Classics from the attic, straight off. It's this one, Where the Wild Things Are. I was going to do something else, but I've watched this recently, and I was in W.H. Smith plug, and I walked past the book, and I went, oh yeah, Where the Wild Things Are. So here we are. The reason I've chosen this is because I love it. I bought it, I saw it at the cinema. I just find it a wonderful experience. There are a lot of children's films around, but there are few films that actually capture the essence of what it's like to be a child. It's particularly a child who's a bit lonely or has, I'm not telling you a sad story. I was never lonely as a child. But particularly a child, who's upset, essentially. All the monsters here they're just wonderful. I know that it's directed by Spike Jonze, and I know that at one point they were considering doing full CG monsters, and he said, no, it just looks crap. Let's have people in suits. We'll augment the faces. It's a brilliant decision. The way they move around is wonderful. Just big, clumpy creatures. And the way that they all represent slightly different facets of personalities is brilliant. James Gandolfini is the head guy. I can't remember the name, sorry. I could look. No, it's not going to tell me, is it? It doesn't matter, they're monsters. One of them's the Gruffalo, obviously. But James Gandolfini's, it's wonderful, and he is missed, isn't he? The emotion that he puts into his voice, the little, I thought you said everything was going to be perfect. And you can feel them on the edge of going a bit mad, and they are big monsters, and it is a little bit unnerving for Max, who's the little boy. Catherine O'Hara as well, an absolute standout. Just brilliant as the very jealous monster. Just going, you got favourites. No, that's really nice. With just this hint of fire in her eyes that you know that things are not fine. I find her quite scary in it. It's brilliant performances, brilliant voice performances. It's shot in a wonderful way where you're very up close with the monsters. You're kind of roaming around the woods with them. Let the wild rumpus begin! The destruction's brilliant again, just like being a little kid, smashing stuff into trees. really free, and just emotional. I love the film. I really do. It is, yeah. I remember a big thing with the Charlie Kaufman, the writer, always writes fantastic films, and I remember quite in quick succession, John Malkovich and The Eternal Sunshine of the Sleepless Mind came out, and I think I preferred. It depends now what kind of mood I'm in, because Malkovich is a lot darker than Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But they're both brilliant, and they're both very, very stylish. But yeah, Sunshine was directed by Michel Gondry, and he seems to have gone off the rails a little bit. Still doing imaginative things, but almost too imaginative. I remember I threw away The Science of Sleep, which I had bought, but I watched it recently, or 6 months ago, and I just thought I don't want to see that again. It's actually, the people in it are a bit tiresome. Jones has not done that. He's directed, he went on for Malkovich, he's done this, I'm sure he's done other things, but he did Her last year, which again, just fantastic, just a lovely imaginative style, but brilliant human characters at the centre of it. Really emotional. Wonderful stuff, absolutely lovely. Where the Wild Things Are, this week's classic. That's it, nice and short. Have a lovely time, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you soon. There will be releases next week. Ooh. Yeah. There are. The Terminator's out for one thing, but I might save that for a week because I'm saving up some Arnie stuff, and we'll do some comparisons with the new one, which I'll put on film now that I think is going to be shit, and I'll play this back and we'll see what it's like. But anyway, see you later.